Hi everybody. Well, today, you can see Lily wants to come out. I had an early appointment today, so I wasn't able to get her out at all, but now she can. Okay, she's seen that Mum has taken that key off. Absolutely. I know you've been waiting. I know you've been patient, and more patient than probably what I would be as a human being, to be perfectly honest. Snakes sure do need to have patience, do they not? Because they do wait on us to do the things that they would like us to do, and sometimes they do have to wait. What are you doing? Besides doing backwards and all sorts of things there, Lily. Hey? We can't do the tricks you can do. Move the way you move. Amazing what they can do. Where they can get to. How they can climb. How they can grip. How they can do all sorts of things that we try, but we need things to help us to do that. But I want to go, I've spoken briefly about fear with snakes and what that means to us, because I tell you what, there's a lot of people that fear snakes, totally fear them. Excuse me while I flick a light on, which might make this a little bit better to see this beautiful girl. And why I'm bringing it up again is because I sat and I thought about it a little bit, and where does fear begin? And I guess that does begin with a parent or an adult telling us to fear, that these are creatures that one should fear and to be careful around. And very true, because when we are young, we don't know venomous from non-venomous and so on, and then we become, I'm trying to get her going in a good direction at this particular point. But it would be a parent pretty much telling us when we are younger that these guys are something very much to fear. And I just wish that my parents had told me the difference between what ones to fear and what ones not to fear, and not even fear, because I wouldn't use that word now that I'm older and know snakes a little bit better, but respect. I wasn't brought up around them. My family were not what I would even consider to be animal people in any way, shape or form. I had a goat when I was younger, and a dog. I don't really recall cats until much later on in my life. But once I was, of course, out on my own and I had my own children and my own home, I filled it with cats. Not filled it with cats, but I had 3 cats and a dog. And then as I got older again, I decided I wanted chooks, and they had my children who had rats and lizards and all sorts of creatures, animals in their life, and I loved it. And I'm getting off track, aren't I, about fear. But my children were brought up to understand, to respect, and not actually fear. I was brought up to fear. So, yes, over the years I learnt what to fear and what not to fear in my life. But snakes, no. I didn't have a great deal of information about snakes at all. And I kept thinking, that they were. Sorry, I'm sitting down and I'm getting up, and I don't know where Lily's going, to be perfectly honest, but nobody ever taught me not to fear them, and why, and which ones not to, and which ones I should back away from. And all of a sudden, here I am at 50 years of age, and 2 snakes appeared in my life. And them being Jack and Lacey, and 2 of our biggest species that we have here in Australia as well. Did I fear them? Funny, I was a little bit nervous, but no, I didn't have fear. But I was nervous. I knew they could bite. I didn't know what that bite felt like. I didn't know how bad that bite would be. And at that time, Jack was way, way smaller. But still, he wants to be bitten. So I did use a hook. Picked him up, put him into his little enclosure. Well, not a little enclosure, quite a big enclosure. It was actually this size enclosure, but split in half, because Lacey went on one side and Jack on the other side. And I just set it up very similar to this, except a divider. And of course I then took the divider out, naturally, once I sort of got used to them and spent a bit of time with each of them. But it was actually my snakes, and this is the truth. It was my snakes that taught me not to fear them. I read books. I read the books. I read up on all their care. And even at that stage, guys, I didn't watch YouTube. What was YouTube? Okay, call me old school, call me whatever you like. Where was I all those years without technology? But honestly, I was very old school. I like picking up a book, I like reading a book, and I like learning that way. The honesty is, there was nothing about really temperament. They can be snappy when they're young, and there's none of that. What do I look for? What is telling me this snake might or might not? There really was nothing, guys, out there. But I watched my snakes, and I learnt very, very, very quickly, they don't want to bite me. They're not interested in biting me. They're not even afraid of me. They're a little bit wary of me, but they're not afraid of me. And if they're not afraid of me, then they're not going to bite me, are they? That is how it is, guys. They're not afraid. And you're not pestering and bothering them, poking them, and they're not going to bite you. Not at all. So, yes, once upon a time, I was told to be afraid. I still am told to be afraid that a snake can turn on you on the flip of a dime and bite you. No, I'm very, 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 very sorry. A snake will not turn on the flip of a dime and bite you at all. If you've done something stupid, yep, they could. They haven't flipped on a dime. you've done something that's made them flip. So I guess in the end it was my snakes that taught me not to fear. Not a book, not videos, even today not videos, but my snakes. So we can learn a lot from our snakes themselves. Don't just go buy a book. There are great videos out there now that tell you a little bit about temperaments. And I'm going to tell you straight up, some babies are nippy, some babies aren't. But it's up to you to judge. And then it's up to you to lessen that fear that snake is feeling. Because when you lessen that fear, there'll be no more nipping. So anyway, Lily's out. She'll be happy, I hope, for a little while. I still have another appointment later, but she'll have a few hours out. Yesterday, she was up here from 8 o'clock in the morning until 8 o'clock last night, pretty much. And then I put her home. But she's out for a little while today. So, and I'm sure Jack will be wanting out. Oh, he's already poked his little head out. And I'm pretty sure he's going to be at the door, but he's going to miss out for a little while. He can come out later. But guys, you take care of yourself, your family, your friends, your snakes, and all your animals. Ciao.